As we put Super Wildcard weekend behind us and move on to the divisional round, I think it would be a good idea to go over some of the key injuries for the teams remaining. So this is the injury recap for Super Wildcard weekend. To begin this recap, we'll go over the Texans and Ravens. Now, both of these teams pretty much came out of the weekend with no injuries. In fact, the worst thing I saw for the Texans was their linebacker, Azeez Al-Shaair, being a little uncomfortable after he got a hit to the family stones. So finally, some good injury news for the Texans, as they probably won't be without anybody new in their matchup against the Chiefs. And the Ravens are in a similar position this week, where the only injury I could see was their cornerback, Marlon Humphrey, who was seen in slight discomfort late in the third quarter, and then eventually ran off and pointed to his thumb. But I haven't been able to find any updates on this, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be significant enough to keep him out next week in their divisional matchup against the Bills. Now, speaking of the Bills, it seems like they might have been the team to get the worst of it when it comes to injuries this weekend, aside from maybe the Green Bay Packers, but they were eliminated. The Bills actually had to deal with quite a few injuries, so we'll stick to the three most severe or severe looking, which were Taron Johnson, Ray Davis, and Cam Lewis, which all were tested for some sort of head or neck injury. But it's not all bad news, because Taron Johnson actually cleared concussion protocol and was evaluated for a neck injury, which ended up coming up negative, and he actually re-entered that game. So I would not expect him to miss any time or games unless something else were to come up. However, the same cannot be said for Ray Davis, who was ruled out of that game in the fourth quarter with a concussion, and is obviously still in concussion protocol, as it is a 5-day process. So I would expect him not to make it for next game. However, there is a possibility that he is able to clear it and play. And finally, we have Cam Lewis, who received what looked like a head or neck injury on this play, but he was evaluated for concussion, and I would assume a neck injury as well, and passed concussion testing, and is cleared to return to play next game. Moving on now to the Eagles, they only had a few injuries. The first one being Darius Slay, who was seen on the sideline opening and closing his hand a couple times, supporting his arm. Now, I went back, and the play before he wasn't actually even involved in, so I had to go a little bit further back to the play even before that, where again we don't see much going on. They're labeling this an elbow injury, so I'm assuming this occurred when he made contact with the ground, and that it was just a hit to his ulnar nerve or his funny bone, which causes some temporary paresthesia or numbness and tingling into your hand. Because after a brief moment in the locker room, he was able to return to the game, so I would not expect him to be missed next week. Now on to Nakobe Dean, who suffered a more serious injury. He actually ended up tearing his patellar tendon. I have a full breakdown of this already on my channel, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. But he's going to miss the playoffs and potentially the beginning of next season. Now we will move on to the Commanders, who again just suffered a few injuries. The first one being Bobby Wagner, who suffered some friendly fire on that left ankle. I can't remember if he returned to the game, but as of Tuesday, he did not practice. Now this could just be to rest him to try and prepare him for this next game coming up, but unless the details of this injury are super severe, which they haven't disclosed yet, I can't imagine him missing the game this weekend due to a minor ankle injury. Moving on, we have Daron Payne. I don't actually have any footage of this injury, but he did share this picture on the internet of a metacarpal phalangeal joint dislocation, or a thumb dislocation. And believe it or not, this actually didn't limit him. After it was reset, he was able to go back into the game. So unless they found any associated structural damage after the game, he should be cleared to return for their game this weekend against the Lions. And finally, the last team we'll be covering in this recap are the Rams. And I didn't actually catch this live, but Tyler Higbee suffered a chest injury, in which resulted in him leaving the game and going to the hospital. Now, Sean McVay revealed why he went to the hospital: because he was spitting up a little bit of blood. And as far as I'm aware, this was the last play that he participated in before being removed, so it doesn't give us much to work with. So a concerning sight for Rams fans. Not sure if this was a rib injury or an organ injury, but they actually expect Tyler Higbee to be ready to play against the Eagles this coming weekend. And so that's going to wrap up our Super Wildcard Weekend injury recap. If I missed any significant injuries that you thought I should have talked about, please let me know in the comments below, as well as if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my most recent videos, as I will be posting a recap for each week of the playoffs, and plan on posting some new style of videos like the top 5 injuries of the NFL season and NFL playoffs. But that is it for now, so thank you for watching and have a great day.